Well, just waiting to go live.
Gets a report. Okay. Expand access to emergency contraceptive. So he's not
No,
doing anything there. Okay.
no, 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 no. He wants a report on how they're going to expand
Okay,
access.
hold on. We stop.
Yeah.
We'll save
Okay.
it for the show
Well,
because I
the good news is that outside of Twitch being a bitch, Twitch bitch by Menon.
always do this. We just start going into show stuff before it even starts,
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we waste all the good content, and then like you have to fuck around.
and then we're fucking around on the mic with no content.
Yeah, like we have for the past 2 months. That really
We're
was.
gonna do this. We're gonna do this topic. Does entirely different topic.
Yep. That's why I stopped. That's why I stopped advertising what we're going to be doing is because um it just
When we don't
doesn't
do
work.
it, people are like, "Oh,
Yeah, like it just doesn't work at all. You know. Okay.
it's like
So
herding cats around here."
it real though for real. Okay, for real, for real, for real. I'm Dan Cohen. I'm joined by Michael Jordan Peterson. Tonight
What's up, guys?
we are going to look back on the life of Shinzo Abe. Who was Shinzo Abe, and why should you be sad that he died?
It's good because I haven't looked him up too much.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, so let's start. You shouldn't be sad that he died. Psych. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't live in
I just saw a bunch of
mathematically.
I just saw a bunch of far right shit, and I was like, "Oh boy."
Yeah. So this is a fun thing about global politics. What constitutes the Republican Party here is what constitutes the Democratic parties almost everywhere else. Okay? Like that's number 1. Number 2. Number 2. This guy this guy Abe is from a long line of how do I put
Imperialist?
it? Yeah, yeah. He did. How do I put it nicely? Um,
I saw something about a massacre.
I don't know. I'm gonna look into that. Um, how do I say this nicely? You know how Japanese liberals are like, listen, I know that whites and blacks are inferior to us, but you still have to treat them with dignity.
Yeah,
He was of the opposite opinion, and not on the first half, but on the second half.
yeah.
He was like, "No, we really don't. We don't have to do anything." Like he was an incredibly racist person. Okay.
I was
Um.
seeing something about a religious cult.
Okay. So we'll get to that, right? So our man was a member of the conservative wing, which you in America would be like, um,
Nazis?
yeah, the people you're calling Nazis now have softer stances than Shinzo Abe did.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like the four, like okay, a lot of this is conjecture, but I firmly believe that a lot of 4chan weirdos have been influenced by Japanese politics, and Abe
Oh yeah.
was was one of those excellent politicians who helped shape those views, which is
Well,
really
excellent.
yeah. The man was in power for like as long as Angela Merkel was in power, right? And Merkel, by the way, Merkel was no peach. It was always funny the Republicans were like, "Look at this freaking communist," because Angela Merkel was like a friend of Dick Cheney's. Just as an aside, and this is like Shinzo Abe. Like, if you want to get a real world view and a real perspective in terms of like who would be friends with who, Angela Merkel and Dick Cheney were actual friends, and Shinzo Abe thought he was too right wing for those liberal cucks. Yeah. So like,
Oh, you're serious?
yeah, there's a lot of Democrats running around right now going, "Oh my God, isn't that sad he died?" And really, no, it's not. This is why. That's why I infamously tweeted today, like, you guys are the people who would be like, "Wow, Hitler just died. Moment of silence, please." Well, you're disgusting. This is not only is this a political enemy, this is an enemy of the working class. So like when leftists are like, it's not that good, like you're wrong. That's an enemy of the working class who's gone. Japanese
Wow.
workers are empirically better off than the day before it happened.
Wow. Abe was an apologist for Imperial Japan's war crimes and supported U.S. imperialist efforts in the Asia Pacific.
Yes.
That I did hear.
Yeah, he wanted nukes. He wanted to
A
be
lot of
able to nuke Japan. Or not
my
Japan,
My
China.
Korean people are like, "Fuck that motherfucker."
Yes. He wanted the capacity to be able to launch nukes at China and North Korea. So this is not a good person.
Mm, lot of ways to redress 45.
Well, 45, like, that's the thing. Like, we think of, like, 45 as the worst politician ever, which shows how, frankly, stupid Americans are. Number one, Hitler.
Oh yeah, he wasn't like 45 isn't effective.
Yeah, not only was 45 ineffective, his actual views were kind of muddled. He thought windmills cause cancer. He's a bad
Hmm.
politician, but in terms of raw skill and general knowledge, he's not a bad politician in terms of, like, what he's
Oh,
effective at.
holy shit. Abe refused acknowledgement of Japan's World War II sexual slavery known as the comfort women system.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't us.
Wasn't me, homie. Don't know who did that. That's sad.
It's not even my politics, and I've heard of fucking comfort women.
Yeah, right? It's one of those things we've heard of by now. So did he, and he said, "Yeah, it didn't. No, that's not true."
No racism going on here. No sex slavery here.
Yep, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, Abe is
Well,
a piece of shit,
yeah,
and
no, it's just getting worse the more I look at it.
yeah, and here's the thing now. He's not here anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't have to, like, okay, like, we have to do the thing, right? We have to do the thing, like, you can't speak ill of the dead. um you can say what they did, and if that reflects poorly on them, that's kind of a them problem, isn't it?
Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how, like, when they talk about speaking ill of the dead, I'm just stating a fact. The man believed.
I mean, if you were shit, then you were shit. It doesn't matter. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We shouldn't watch it like, oh, now that he's dead, we can't talk about all the evil shit that they've done.
No, now's the perfect time to talk about it. He can't argue in his own defense. Like, we don't
All
have to
the
worry
evidence
about his
comes out because
feelings.
he's not there to hold it back.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about his feelings. Oh, this is a great quote. Some people used to point to my grandfather as a Class A war criminal suspect, and I felt strong repulsion. Because of that experience, I may have become emotionally attached to conservatism. Yeah, you did. You literally did the thing. You literally did the thing where you're like, it's in America, it's the equivalent of like, oh crap, my grandfather founded the Ku Klux Klan. I can disown him or double down on it. Guess I'm gonna double down.
Hmm.
That's the right move.
Let me get that money real quick.
Yeah. So, in terms to Mr. Abe,
What?
what?
You're saying police found human remains and evidence of cannibalism in his residence? What? In 2003?
In
Holy
Abe?
shit.
No way.
That's what this. No, I don't know. Ooh. Is even real?
That rocks. My man,
No, this can't be.
no, my man. So, my man.
Bro, what?
Allegedly, my man's so right wing he eating people.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be real. Can it? we got Do we get the real white glove society going on out here?
Uh, if it isn't real, it's something that you could tell me, and I would be like, yeah,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds right. And the people would be like, well, his family loves him. Yeah, his family sucks. What do you want me to say to that? Like, they have a responsibility to be like, look, in terms of being a grandfather, he was all right to me, but my grandfather's politics are shit. If they're not willing to say that, like, oh, I'm sorry, they suck too. Like, what do you want me? Why? I don't know. Like, I don't know why people don't strive to live the kind of life that like your kids want. Like, the worst thing they're going to say about you is like, well, he was a leftist of his time.
They have to get their bag, man. They
You
don't
know,
give a shit.
yeah, the left has shifted away from those positions further on, but for his time, he was a tried and true leftist who would not be mortified at what we have done. That's the kind of life you want to live. You know what I mean? And this is a fella who is like, yeah, I just want to be the worst person I possibly can. I don't want to be in power for like almost a full decade. I just want unlimited power in my country to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, his killer allegedly, I have to say allegedly here because I cannot confirm it. Um, what they're saying is that the young man was a former SDF member. Okay.
Ooh.
Um, I've heard that it's on Shenrikyo, the terrorist group that used um the terrorist used the assassin, the sarin gas in the
Yeah, the
attacks.
gas attack. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm told, which is amazing because like what that signals is that far right provocateurs and far right nut jobs are now going after their far right masters. That not only
Yeah, that's what I did find that interesting. I did notice that when it first happened too. I was like,
yeah
wait a minute, you mean the right wing guy?
yeah
That's
so
fascinating.
a right wing guy went after his right wing masters, which is like if if you believe the fascism is 100% death cult, right?
Hmm.
Then it is destined to murder as many people as possible before turning the violence inward.
Hmm.
They're beginning the process of turning the violence inward. Now's a really good time to spend your time getting the hell out of their way, letting them do what they're going to do to each other, and forming your own counter political power because they're just going to keep revealing how disgusting they are, right?
Hmm.
So it's not. This isn't something you should be worried about. The way these winds seem to have been blowing is this insanity that is typical of Japanese politics seems to be bleeding over into us because, unfortunately or not, the internet kind of connects things, and those ideas reverberate among the right. They're true. It's comical for the people who are all nationalists. They are true internationalists. They share, right? That can be seen as a signal, and if that resonates enough with those people, you're going to have a situation where you're going to be seeing this in America. It's not unreasonable for some really insane. It's like the Nazis who denounced Trump for being a liberal cuck. Right? There was a small contingent of Nazis, actual Nazis, proud to say they were Nazis. Maybe I
No,
don't know.
I do remember that. I do actually remember that.
Yeah. So like you
Yeah.
have 40 to 50 people across the country who are like, no, he's too far right. He's too far cucked in the anti-white society or whatever, right?
It's just they just don't understand. He's about himself.
Well, yeah, because he didn't give a shit. What does he care?
At a certain point they start to want martyrs, and he's like, no, fuck that. Why the fuck would I do that? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, they desperately crave a daddy because they need to replace Hitler, which Bannon is going to try to do his best, but he's definitely a Goebbels type. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's
Shadow warrior.
yeah, he's just a spineless. At the end of the day, he's just a spindly little freak. Um, he's nothing special. So, but he's definitely doing what he's supposed to do for the movement, and he understands his role very well. So he was hoping that he could turn Donald Trump into the great fat white hope, right? And it failed
Hmm.
because Trump. Say what you will about good old Adolf, right? Adolf gave a shit about the Germans in as much as that he needed to definitely be in control of the Germans. Trump, that's the difference in attitudes. Hitler had to have that neurotic like control over the situation, and Trump didn't give a shit. Trump expected you to do it
Like
for him because he
he
was
just let
rich and
the
you
he
were
just let
poor.
the companies run wild.
Yeah, he expected these poor idiots. And mind you, like his chief supporters were people who make like $250,000 a year selling cars and shit. You know what I mean? Like millionaires. He just expected poor people, aka millionaires, to just do his bidding because he's so rich and he's so great and everybody knows his name. Like they're not the same. He was never going to work out as a functional leader of this movement. He can rally them, right? He's definitely a good polemic because everybody knows his name. But at the end of the day, he's just a little chubby treat boy.
It's good. It's good to see that even the right has experienced the performative theater with no substance to what they're trying to do.
Of
Good to
course.
know.
Yeah, of course they do.
Almost encouraging, if you know that were possible in this environment.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were right talking about like if looking at these people like if Hitler was around now they'd be all like, oh man, Hitler died. Oh no.
Yeah, curse. You just
Maybe they did that at the time. Maybe I just didn't
no, they
look
didn't.
into the history enough.
Make no mistake about it. For people who are like, "Oh, FDR was just a tool of the ruling class," and blah blah blah, I'll tell you what. When FDR ordered enough men to go lose their lives to kick the Nazi ass, we
Hmm.
celebrated. We were happy. A bad person was dead. It tells you the state of the country that when somebody like this dies, we're not at worst apathetic. You know what I mean? Like we're actually sad.
Hmm.
That tells you a lot about the state. Like, ugh, ugh. Society is garbage, folks. Shinzo Abe is a racist piece of crap. Keep in mind, the real comedy of it all is like when Trump and when Abe met each other. It's amazing they just didn't both break down into saying racist shit about each other.
Comfort women were necessary.
Yeah, and you know after he met Obama,
Oh.
he was thinking the N word. Like you know it. Like the guy's a piece
Hmm.
of shit. So like yeah, he caught a shotgun round from another right wing piece of shit. Like okay, fine. Sucks. You live like I'll say this. I'm gonna be really cold and religious right now. You lead a sinful life, you're gonna get it. You don't get that release of death into the kingdom. Hell no. Your ass gets taken about by somebody who's more of a freak and an awful person than you are, and nobody ought give a shit. Well, these are the comments that are gonna get us canceled. You
I
know,
mean, what else?
Swiss
It's part of the
cheese.
course.
By the way, welcome Skylar. We got one in the chat. This is conjecture where the shooter was so far right that he thought Abe was a secret Jew. Awesome. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course that shooter did. 100%. You can power Milwaukee from the spinning of the
Hey, right wingers, if you want to use your guns to like, do stuff,
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. You go ahead. No. You clean up your party. You feel free to do whatever
No,
you want to do.
stop. No.
You oh no, don't. Ugh. What the fuck?
uh, I just can't get over that. He thought the comfort women were necessary? That's fucking cold, man. That's
Yeah.
ice cold.
No, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. He's awful. And again, remember when he heard his grandfather was a class A war criminal, he was like, YOLO. Well, it's not that's
YOLO, gotta get mine.
yeah, not the right answer. I cannot stress it enough. I am begging the left to not care that the right wingers are cleaning themselves out. That's
Well,
what
it seems like all of them are just going over who he was.
well, yeah, of course they're glossing over. I'll tell you what. When did you find out that Shinzo Abe was a piece of shit? When did you find out properly?
I forgot he exists.
You forgot he existed. Yeah, and I'm not. That's not a criticism of you. That's not an attack on you. That is the state of American politics. This is a world leader who, if Putin was like, we're going to have to attack Japan to clear out the Nazis, it would be like, he's kind of got a point, right?
Hmm.
Oh, this is bad because I don't want you attacking Japan. You shouldn't do it, but at the same time, can't. I mean, they're run by a Nazi, and the person who took over for him was worse. His deputy secretary, who's taken over, is worse. I cannot stress it enough. Worse. Thought Shinzo Abe was too merciful and too liberal for his liking.
Hmm. Can I get that to go?
Yeah, yeah. We get that to go the fuck out of here. How about that? Jesus Christ. But nope, everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Why not? Believe me, if we actually had a leftist who could aim and they decided to take out Bernie Sanders, the right would be giddy right now.
Oh hell yeah!
They would be creaming themselves. They couldn't stop.
Oh, they would immediately just authoritarian right, authoritarian left, and they would just be done from there.
Yeah, literally the hospitals would have a rampant spike of dehydrations caused by massive busting. They would be so
Just a
fucking
river of
giddy.
cum flowing out of the hospital.
Everywhere. Everywhere. The streets would be white with their awful filthy seed. So you going like, yeah, it's fine. Let a Nazi shoot another Nazi. Nobody cares. That's not the worst thing you can do. The right will do infinitely worse for less. They'll do it because it's a goddamn Tuesday and they're literal monsters. So don't worry. You can't fuck up your morality so bad that you look like an asshole. If you're like, I don't really care that this asshole died. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Nobody.
Oh, whoa! So I was just reading up about the LDP,
The monsters.
and yeah, the monsters, and they're saying it's an alliance of fascists, yakuza, Japanese business owners, and CIA.
Uh huh.
Wow,
Yeah, and his
that's
great.
just like a
I
consortium of everything evil.
yes, and I can't remember if it was his daddy or his granddaddy that helped found the party.
Yeah, yeah, that's raw.
Yeah. Again, you found out your grandfather was a Klansman. Do you double down or you disown him? Shinzo doubles down, baby.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all.
There's not not much more to that.
Yeah, he's a piece of garbage. After that little brief tour of international trash, let's talk about trash of a different flavor at home here. Did you see Biden's big move today?
No, what was it?
Oh, Biden.
You know, I don't, I have a very thin tolerance for that man.
Well, let's see if I can't assuage your fear, you filthy leftist. President Biden today announced an executive order to form a committee
To do nothing.
to create a report
To do
about
nothing.
what possibly the DHS secretary has done over the past 30 days in 30 days to
It assessed it.
protect abortion and contraceptive access in these trying
Wow.
times. Yeah.
He's trying so hard. He actually did a thing.
He wrote down on a paper, I want this.
I
All
need
he
brownie
did.
points. My approval's in the trash.
Yeah, and the best part is the best part about that is like when we boil that down and we really work through what he did, it's nothing. He did nothing. Biden was like, I promise to do nothing and I will hold that promise steadfast.
Yeah, you shared that article. You shared that article and just what?
Yeah. Yeah.
First part is to get a report, to have a report submitted on 30 days that doesn't actually, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of a UN non-binding resolution, which is basically a pinky promise.
And then the second line is he's going to take action to expand access to emergency contraceptives.
Yeah, note the critical word here. Not
access to.
access. This is why over the past,
Rich white women never had an access problem.
yeah, they were fine. They were a-okay. Rich white women who just didn't want to go through the rigmarole of getting fat were fine.
And then the next one, they're gonna ramp up outreach and public education efforts on abortion to ensure that Americans have access to reliable and accurate information about their rights and access to care,
You
aka propaganda.
that is about the only thing he said that I wasn't horribly offended by, except for the fact that you had 40 years.
Because he didn't say nothing.
Yeah, it's the
To
other stuff.
ensure the access to reliable and accurate information.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the other
Right.
stuff. And honestly, given the condition of the country right now and education, too little, too late.
Mm-hmm.
Too little, too goddamn late. And honestly, some of that I kind of blame the left.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. There's always a failure there whenever they take power like that.
Yeah,
The next line is that he's just gonna get some attorneys and organizations together. Big
yeah.
whoop. And then the
It,
next line after that is he's gonna focus on protecting patient privacy.
oh, from the data mining. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a fuck
Mm-hmm.
up too. Like this is a fuck up all around. So let me touch on my point. The reason this is a failure of the left is we could have been organizing that this was a thing we've been doing for years. We did not. We bought
We've been
into the
we've been
libertarian bullshit. We
we've
fucked
been
up.
reacting. We've been trying to put out fires one after the other instead of like going after the head.
Yeah, yeah, instead of lunging, we've been sitting on our ass, yelling at the manager, wondering why it hasn't worked. So that is, you cannot like that all you want. That is partly on us. Nothing you can do about that but change your behavior now. That's how you fix that now. You got to do it now. Now's the time. Because there's no yelling at the manager to get this out of the way. It's just not going to happen. There's no academic book, there's no paper, there's no shame, there's no non-action based thing.
When
There's
has
no
yelling at the manager ever worked for
not,
us anyway?
it hasn't for us because we're not the ones the manager cares about. The manager is trying to keep us down. Yelling at the manager does not work. They don't care.
They do not care
Yeah. So once
at
again,
all.
I am going to remind you, once again, organizing is your way out of this. And I understand that work is antithetical to every American libertarian
Yeah,
leftist
for,
value.
for all that eat the rich talk I throw out there for that message. Organizing is definitely more important.
Yes.
We need counter structures.
Right.
Like you could yeet all of them into space, but then there's just going to be more capitalists.
Exactly, because there will be a hole in the market that they feel compelled to fill. Sorry.
Still, it feels so good to say.
Yes.
Yeet them into space.
It perfectly fine to have a little bit of fun, but the nitty gritty work is we have to work.
The nitty gritty work here is you're gonna have to deal with people. And
Right.
It fucking sucks. It's never fun. It's never good. It just fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's the you know what too? I gotta say, we gotta get over that attitude. If I'm gonna be very cold, the I hate other people left, that shit's gotta go. Like we can laugh at MAGA all we want, but they all like each other. They like each other well enough to get organized and go do what they want to do, which is hideous, but they go do it. Do you see how that's a problem?
They
That you're
do.
like, I hate other people and I'm not gonna go organize, and then you're like, why is everything I want failing? You
Yeah, well, that's my contradiction. I'm constantly on the edge of violence and doing nothing. I'm constantly on the edge of
right.
I fucking hate everybody and I want them to all to die. Or, we should do better for each other and grow and love and be. You know what I mean? It's a constant. It's my contradiction that I have to worry about. But
You're not alone.
It probably is deeper to the left in its own.
Yeah, and you're not alone, buddy. I see that all the time. Jesus Christ, the one that mortifies me the most is the anti-natalist left. I could go, holy shit,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's bad.
that shit's inhuman. Like, just go be a right winger. You'll be happier.
One of those things. It's one of those things I've seen from you that that's I don't know what I'm trying to say. You hate that shit almost as much as you hate standpoint epistemology.
Yes, I hate it more so.
You hate it
Standpoint
more
epistemology,
so.
yeah, standpoint epistemology actually does have a very good purpose, right? If you say I witnessed this crime or I am the victim of this crime, right? That's a basis to go conduct an investigation into whether or not a crime occurred. You have there is some level where standpoint epistemology is sufficient to start an inquiry, right? Because the victim has to speak up. You have to have a means for the victim to speak up or the alleged victim to speak up. Otherwise, that person has no voice. They have no way for society to ameliorate their legitimate grievance. But what I hate is when you negate other people's opinions. Like, I'll be very cold for a moment, right? Um, if I were to, if we were to debate, okay, let's take these two, right? If we were to debate the fundamental, or at least, okay, the social notion of the white, you and I are probably going to disagree on what those are. You know who's going to be the right one? It's not going to matter on the skin color. It's going to be the one who comes most correct. You
Makes
very
sense.
much, you very much could tell me far more about whiteness than I could possibly fathom because I live it. You know what I mean? Like it's background radiation to me, and I don't see that very much. That's when people are like,
Yeah,
"Mind your
yeah. It's like
privilege."
it's a lot. It's a lot like how not too long ago, maybe 2008 to 10 or so, people were sitting here talking about racism doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
Like how the fuck would you know?
it's hard for you, the person who would be the racist of any power, to notice that. It would be hard for you to do that. So that's an impressive
I
call on
mean,
your
while
part.
meanwhile implying some shit that immediately turns into racism.
Yeah, yeah, big time racism. So that's one of those things. That's something like I just have to accept because you're going to be able to define it better. You see it externally. I can only see it internally, and for me, it's just waking up in the morning. It doesn't have an intrinsic meaning to me the way it does you because you're the one who has to react to white people, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm going to be very cold, but that's fine. There's nothing about standpoint epistemology that would supersede your own standpoint epistemology, your own observation, and the general social consensus that you operate in, right? That are different than mine on this. Simply put, one of us has more black family members than the other, right? You have far more access to just that intimate trust level of opinion than I do.
Yeah, because I remember hearing about I actually heard about when was that wedding? I've heard about that case, the Jalen Walker, long before that actually happened. Because they were already really pissed off at something the cops just did beforehand. They were talking about what about justice for this person and that person and this person. All these people get global news coverage, but like we're over here in Akron. You're not. They don't say shit about us, and we're going through the same shit.
Yeah,
And I caught that, and now that it's finally blowing up, like it's like obvious. Like
yeah,
I just didn't think it would become like national news because that's like such a small place with big city problems.
right. The littlest big city you can find functionally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this shit happens, and it's like it's mortifying. It's also mortifying what they bury because we just had a lynching out in Philly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like we just had one. I have friend, I have I mean they're internet friends or whatever, but I have friends out there, and they're like, this shit just happened. The news is not wanting to cover this at all.
Well, we've been having lynchings. They just don't want to call it what it is.
Right now,
Like you, just because you don't string them up on a tree, don't mean it's not a lynching.
yeah, I'll be very fair. The man was found hanging on park equipment. Can I say definitively he was lynched because nobody's taking credit for it? No, but I'll tell you what, sure does look like it.
It kind of smells like a duck to me.
Yeah, it looks like a dog. It smells like a dog. It's acting like a dog, and it's licking me, and it feels like when a dog licks me. So like, mm, yeah, you okay? Fine, you win, right? Semantics game, you win. Counterpoint, it really does look like that, and it doesn't look good. Good old
One of
PA.
these things is not like the other. One of these things is lynching.
How's the how's the good old theocratic regime treating you guys?
Oh, we're doing
Oh,
great.
wonderful, wonderful, terrific.
Yeah,
The system
Right.
fails again.
the system has failed. Long live the system.
You guys miss me yet?
It's,
Damn, sorry.
of course, we missed you. We expect you to show up for
Yeah,
work.
yeah. It's not the same without you. We don't get your unique perspective on things. Do you have a unique perspective on Abe?
Okay. Yeah, he's a good.
On Abe?
Yeah.
What you gotta say, man? Like, we all know this shit, right? Like, Grandpa's a war criminal. He was constantly denying World War II crimes.
Mhm.
That's the
Mhm.
usual shit.
Damn, verbatim. You
Yeah.
nailed it, Nolan.
Yep.
Or Dan.
Yeah.
You nailed it, Dan.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, like, that's the thing about being educated in other countries. You learn this stuff. You learn to pay attention to the international situation. My knowledge of Japanese
Yeah, a
politics is
lot of people are
cursory.
confused. They like ask me like, "Why do you even care about what happens over in other places?" I'm like, "Why don't you?
You
That
probably
shit
should.
can happen right here tomorrow."
The cold. Well, you know what the cold truth of it is? Those places are getting to be more important than us.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's where the news is happening.
We're not.
Yeah, from my I could lean, he treated the Okinawans, the Ryukyans, kind of bad.
Oh
Uh
yeah,
huh.
At least,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, they have
and
a they have a history of that. I've met quite a few. I've met someone out in the islands, and yeah, they're cool people. Just yeah, they do remind me a lot of black Japanese people.
Yeah. That's
and,
probably an
and correct
analogy.
me if I'm wrong. The guy is like some cultist dude. I don't know.
Oh
That's
yeah,
I
their
haven't
whole
read up on
religious
it.
whole thing we didn't even get into yet.
we didn't
Yeah,
touch
the Shryunku, something like that.
Amshin
The
Rinkyo. I
guys
think.
behind the Saren attack.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah. Amshin
Damn.
Rinkyo.
So
I thought it was trying to say that they had ties to another religious cult, and I was like, God damn, how many cults they got in Japan?
Well, a lot. They have a lot. They're not doing well as a people.
Sounding like an America over here.
They work 90-hour days, 29 days out of a 28-day month in February. They're not doing well.
oh yeah, that's fucking horrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The salaryman, right?
Their culture, their work culture was considered abhorrent back in the '90s.
Yeah.
It hasn't got any better.
No.
Like ours was bad, but at least you can make a grip.
The 44-hour work week here in America before it became the 80-hour work, like that's all we did. We just adopted the
Mhm.
Japanese 80-hour work week. They were ahead of us on the curve. How's that working out? How are our people acting?
I think
Ooh.
you mean you just brought it back, right? Because people were working 80-hour work weeks or more before.
Well,
You know.
okay, yeah. If we're gonna be very
Well,
technical,
the hustle was different. It's like yeah, they'd work those 80 hours, but they would turn that into like their whole income and livelihood for the rest of X amount of years. Go ahead and put in my time for this year, make a bunch of money, stack cash, and I'm kind of good for a minute. As we're now we have this inflation shit that's like you really can't save up. You're
no,
really on that edge.
no, and
Yeah, that's true.
the jobs are different. These aren't the coal mines, right? These are just those boring play on your phone jobs where you sit
Yeah,
and
you're
fucking
not even.
sit in a gas
You
station.
just have to show up, sit down, and fucking look like you're doing some work, and you're good.
Yeah, and you're getting paid minimum
Oh,
wage.
that's fucking horrible. That's even worse.
Yeah. I'm not.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
not,
what if imagine if you were getting paid the same as you are now to do it.
Yeah, I'm not.
So imagine if I was being paid. I'm unemployed right now.
That's that David Graeber's bullshit jobs. Yeah, that's been around for a minute. They basically just have to hire people to keep money flowing.
Right. So they pay him the bare minimum to
Yep.
keep it flowing. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's not
And
like,
Japan had that too.
yes.
Japan invented it.
Yeah. We adopted. It was one of the most powerful capitalist nations at one point. There's a reason they launched a world war. That's not.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
You
You don't launch a war unless you're like already in the middle of some growth. And you're
Yeah.
like, I need more space.
Yeah. Unless I think I need more. So and let's be clear here. 80 hours in the mines, hideous life. Die in a black lung, dying at 35, whole 9 yards. Awful. You know what's also awful that nobody wants to talk about? Sitting around at a gas station by yourself for 40 hours and then having to go to another one and do it again. You have to do that 2 or 3 times a day,
What?
7 days a week.
I thought you was a Slay King hustler. Keep hustling.
Yeah, keep hustling. Keep hustling your ass into the next
It's
gas
the grind
station
set,
to
man.
sit there.
Yeah, they get off the job from the gas station to go do some unpaid labor of passion that they're trying to do, start a business or something. Yeah,
No.
yeah, we know how this works.
Oh,
Hell
yeah.
no.
Working as an intern.
Your hustle was just another job.
Yeah. They're sitting around playing fucking video games because they're bored as shit and they're tired. They don't want to do any more labor because all they've done for fucking 16 hours a day is labor, and in 5 hours they got to do their next shift. That's what's happening. They fucking feel terrible. People hate it. That's the condition. At least that's a condition around here. That's what's, I get a lot of friends going around through that. It's fucking monstrous.
Crazy.
You got people making $20, $30 an hour having to pick up a side job because of this goddamn inflation.
Yeah.
It's a 40-hour work week. The asterisk is, of course, unless you work like 13 jobs.
Yeah, if you work 13 jobs, then yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, you just adopted to the Japanese condition, but for less money.
But why does no one want to come to work?
Gee, I wonder.
No one wants to work anymore.
I was trying to do a Seinfeld there, but you get it.
And what's the deal? And what's the deal with people not wanting to work? I went to Starbucks the other day, and the young homosexual there didn't want me to grab his ass and call him a fairy. What's with these millennials? How was that? Was that
spot on? Bravo. Applause.
And what's the deal with my daughter thinking I'm an asshole?
So we're bringing back child labor, guys. Well, in the U.S., I guess child labor was already a thing.
They're trying to.
The libertarians are trying to.
But they're libertarians.
They already done it, right? Like that was one of the things during the pandemic. Well, it's still going on though. But like a year ago, they started hiring kids in the McDonald's, the fast food joints.
That.
Yeah, we already did.
That's kind of funny. Like,
they hired kids to do trucking.
Yeah.
Doing trucking.
Yeah, actually, actual haul trucking. Yes.
Yeah.
Not long haul because they got to go to school, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess they get to learn the life of
they didn't want to pay the truckers.
Rolling around.
They hired some kids.
Oh, they can expand their skills.
Yeah.
It's not every day you learn how to drive a 14-wheeler or whatever.
You can tell it's so incredibly popular because it pops its head up and then disappears, never to be spoken of again. they're like testing the waters and just poking, like putting a little poke out there, like, oh, can we push? Nope. Let's stay right there.
Yeah, and it's it's funny because like now, like the quote unquote liberals, right? The people you would think would be the most offended by the notions of child labor, they're like, well, maybe we should give it a chance.
Yeah, under the guise of the
Bezos.
Yeah. How will the next Jeff Bezos?
The meritocracy. Yeah, it's the merit, man. You get those skills going. You gotta get them while they're young.
It's a good resume builder. Working at a gas station will surely improve your chances of getting a real job.
Yeah. It shows you.
Never mind that. Where are the real jobs coming? Where are they coming?
When you're real
talking
job,
about they're supposed to be. He said they're supposed to be real jobs. Where are they at? All I'm seeing is bullshit.
Well, let's be fair, right? It's coding, or it's working as some sort of ghoul for McKinsey. Those are the real jobs in America. Those are your options. Going to be a Mayor Pete fucking fiend? All right. We got a job for you, kiddo. Buckaroo.
Mayo Pete.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're in a bad way.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Riposado, just to catch you up, first off, Riposado has joined us to now talk about abortion a little bit more, and specifically Joe Biden's stellar performance.
Stunning, really.
It sure is stunning.
It's gotten worse.
You know,
Well,
I
he's kind of following that defensive. I can't do worse because I'm not doing anything.
right. I can't. Hey,
No, he's
Mac.
following the fence because he's Catholic.
Yeah.
I know his game.
Well, you
He's
gotta,
Catholic. He's
you know,
he's anti-abortion.
their logic, everything is natural that they do, right? Not
Right.
political. we,
Yeah.
we've gone long over them. What were you saying, Dan?
No, I wanted to point out that the liberals are saying there's no magic wand for fixing this, and yet again, note that when life gets worse from the Republicans taking action, it's just a fact of life, right? That it's going to happen. But for them to fight back takes a fucking act of supernatural powers.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
That's
insane.
your liberals right there. That's your Harry Potter right there.
Yeah. That
Harry
is,
Potter in the Chamber of Bleakness.
Harry Potter.
They literally need some guy from some long forgotten sacred bloodline to actually fix everything.
Right.
But of course, they're gonna have to fucking bow them in,
Yeah. You have to push.
and he's
them.
gonna lose to the next Republican.
Right.
You mean they gotta find their chosen one?
Hold on. I got one.
Yeah, they gotta find the chosen
You were
one.
the chosen one, Biden. You were supposed to save us, not destroy us.
Yeah. You promised that nothing would change, and then it only got worse because you didn't do
promised
anything.
us nothing would change.
Yeah. Then nothing. You know, it just got worse. Yeah. So Harry. Oh yeah. Hold on. Now I got one. I've been waiting to launch this. I'm going for it. Ready?
Go for it. Go for it.
It's Harry Potter and the proposal to tax gasoline as a luxury as opposed to a necessity.
It's Harry Potter and the proposal to have a resolution to get an approval to get a task force to look into possibly reproductive health care access.
Yeah.
How about this? A colored revolution. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
No. It's totally fine because it's colored, not color.
Harry Potter and the closet he's staying in only to make sure that other people don't find out that he's inept at his fucking job.
Harry Potter and the Don't Say Gay.
Harry Potter.
We like that. Yeah, that's a good little thing there.
Yeah, it's a
little skit.
Lighten her up a second. Couple good Harry Potter riffs.
Yeah, it's good riffs. Good riffs.
See, liberals, we pay attention to what you like.
How do I sound right here? Right? Better? Worse?
Worse.
Interesting.
Worse? Bam.
You sound interesting now.
I guess different. I mean, it seems lower quality to me.
You got don't push on it too hard. It's fine. This show is not known for its quality. We're here. I think we've already disproven any notions of quality.
Oh, true. Yeah, we just do our thing.
Yeah.
Quality be damned.
Quality is fascism for creatives. How you like that one?
Bedtimes and quality.
Yeah, bedtimes and quality have one thing in common. They're both filthy fascist ideas. We got this. So good.
Super easy.
Super easy, just like what they used to call me in high school.
Lemon squeezy.
Yeah, super easy, baby. Actually, if I only chose to date women in high school that could you treat me like a punching bag.
I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
He's not even exaggerating too much.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering, you know what? It's a weird game, but I'm wondering who on the podcast has been hit by women the most. I'm betting it's me.
What do you mean hit?
I mean, the woman balls her fist into a fist and strikes you in the eye or the nose.
Oh yeah, hell no. No.
Yeah.
I'm all for liberation and shit, but if you attack me, you have the right to get slapped the fuck out of.
Right. I could go two routes on this. Because in typical Mexican fashion. Growing up as a as a Mexican child with a Mexican mother.
Yes. That's fair game.
All right.
But
so
only if you fucked her.
No.
Okay, so you gotta leave that one out.
Classic.
Yeah, none.
Okay, so far I'm right. I'm the winner. It's more than
you're the king.
The winner of getting abused.
Getting abused.
Congratulations.
Essentially asking for it, by the way. Like, real please, sir.
Check to see you say some out of pocket shit real quick.
Yeah. Listen, the heart won, so it
She's a fixer.
That came up a lot. That was, yeah.
Damn, Dan.
What?
Do you have any friends that pull you back like, nah, man?
Those friends, you gotta understand about the kind of place we're from in the Midwest. It's like if you see those same people 3-4 years from now, they're probably not even the same person.
They're not.
Yeah, that's life, though.
They drop off like 1 or 2 years out, and then 3-4 years, you're like, who the fuck are they? Like,
yeah,
I don't like you like if you were to see them and run into them, like, I know you, but I don't know you. Like, I used to know you, I knew who you were, but I know you are now.
Now you're just somebody that I used to blow.
Like 3 years, they can become 3 years, they can go full Trumper.
Oh no.
Yeah, they can go. I mean, I've seen it happen as short as a year.
I got a friend like that
during the main heyday.
Yeah.
And it breaks up friendships all the time. So many people I had to get rid of because they were just fucking appalling to be around.
I had a friend like that.
Like, I can't be hanging around a guy who's fucking talking shit up women and fucking being a fucking predator and shit.
Yeah.
On the girls that you know and that are part of your group. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's immediately gonna be a fight, and then immediately you're like, well, you're in the wrong, dude. What are you fucking doing? And they're gonna be like, no, and you're like, all right, okay. All I hear is chud shit. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. I just don't want to see you ever again. It's a sad reality.
Yeah, that's happened to me.
Yeah.
Sad reality of this world that they've left us.
There's a real depressing feature to Appalachia that, like, I don't know how best to describe it, but like there's an innate
isolation.
Well, isolation plays a big part of it, but there's this innate misery, right? So,
yeah, misery is a good word.
Yeah, there's like this kind of misery and hopelessness and resignation that, like, the way it translates to is just like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
just utter defeat.
Right.
No, like no way out of it. There's like it's almost oppressive, right?
Yeah, have you
like enforced.
You ever heard the 9 Inch Nails song "Happiness in Slavery"?
No, I have not.
Okay, listen to that song. That kind of it trends from the area. He sums it up very well. So it's not so much like a defeated resignation. There's a resignation to the natural cruelty of life and the natural injustice of life, such that, like, you take a sick bit of comfort in it, and you kind of almost don't know how to function when things go right.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like, you don't know how. So, like, in the case of, like,
have you ever seen that painting American Gothic with the farmer?
Yeah, I've seen that. It's like the famous one, right? Like
that's the Midwest feel across the ages.
Damn.
Like that quiet, like, this is a hard, fucked up life.
Right, life is hard and fucked up. Get over and get
you
back.
You think they're gonna, render that painting in modern times with the farmer with a bussin' haircut and that shit?
Oh yeah, they do it all the time. It's
yeah.
Now they like to put black people in portraits like that, and I find that interesting.
Yeah.
To give a reinterpretation. But yeah, they do that all the time. I'm sure you could just search it and find it.
Yeah, that probably means they haven't changed the mentality at all.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's still reflective of the area.
Yeah. So
Well, all those horror movies that are set in Appalachia.
right.
That's because
Is that
like
true? God
there's so
damn.
much physical isolation, you know? When you got like people living miles and miles and miles away from each other with fucking rows of fields and corns and shit. Um,
Yeah, I get that.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's kind of like, oh yeah, someone could definitely get murdered here and no one would notice.
Right. Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah,
obvious thing.
that's the most rural parts of Mexico, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Very similar vibes. And what it produces here, right, is like what how do I put it? Like what academic libs would treat as domestic abuse, we're like, yeah, they just had a fight. And it
Yeah.
It's like an epidemic, right?
They're like they went to blows and you're like, yeah, they just had a fight.
yeah, they were just working shit out. They had a fight, and that's kind of always the joke, right? Oh, it's just two people working shit out. But like that is how we solve our problems here. And
Yeah,
like
there's some people they wake up in the morning, and they're just punchy. They
yeah,
just gotta punch something.
they
And
just
then when
gotta
they do punch
initiate.
something, they get their ass kicked. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck was that about? And they're like, I didn't feel right.
Yeah, and it's like
Like, so you had to get the kicked out of you? Like,
it's 110% horrible. Don't get me wrong, but like in those kind of scenarios, like it's very easy to be like, other people can like externally look and be like, that guy's treating you like shit, and they're like, no, I love him. It's fine.
yeah,
It's fine. I don't need to break up with him right now. And the thing is, like, you never talk about it, but like the reverse is true as well. Like a woman's just beating your ass, and you're like, yes, well, she fucks me. How can I? How is there possibly a better quality of
yeah.
life in this world?
I seen that with you maybe once, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I saw my shit, bro. And you're
yeah,
like, it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
yeah. I'm gonna let you do this, but this is not. It's not okay. And like, yeah, that's the mentality. You know what I mean? So like, here, what
Can't
cost?
solve everybody's problems. Like,
Yeah, it's funny because we have the exact same legal standards as anywhere else on what constitutes abuse, but like what people will bother to report is always a degree more horrific than you'd see in like the
Yeah, it's
South.
where it's always one step over the line, right? Or a couple.
Yeah, it's at least one step over the line. The one the one story that always made me laugh is I had a female friend. She was incredibly pissed. Right, she was incredibly pissed, and I asked why, what's wrong, and she's like, oh, I just got out of prison. I was like, what? And
yeah,
she's like, well,
that's
okay.
reason to be pissed.
She's like, okay, it was only jail. I was only there a couple of nights, and I'm like, all right, that still sucks. What happened? She's like, well, my my boyfriend and I got in a fight. We were yelling at each other, and
And
then
I stabbed him in the dick, bruh.
not quite. No, not
Okay.
not that far.
No, if they stab them, then it's a totally different matter.
And mind you,
They
she
usually
has.
don't go that far.
Yeah, they don't usually. Yeah, it's not like that. Like it doesn't go that far because that's not like that's abnormal, right? That's dangerous. Um, the goal isn't to endanger the other person. The goal really is just to fight with them. She's like, well, we got a little bit out of hand. I'm like, what happened? Because like, mind you, like she's got cuts on her face. She's got a black eye. And I'm like, did he? I'm like kind of thinking to myself, like, did he beat the shit out of you? Do I gotta go deal with this now? She's like, well, he said some things I didn't like. I said, okay. And she's like, so, I got in his face. I was like, okay. And then I told him I was kicking his ass out. I was like, all right. And then he punched me. I was like, okay, there, I knew it. She's like, so,
Whoa,
yeah, hold on.
Mm.
Hold on. Hold.
red flag on the
So
play.
she says, well, then I got really mad. And I went into the kitchen and locked myself in because we have doors in our house, and I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. You get the layout where you can lock the kitchen door, sure. So he's kicking the door in. And when he kicks the door in, right, his foot kind of gets stuck. So I unlock it and kick it back, and he falls over. And then I just started beating him in the face with a frying pan.
Yeah,
And
that's a very Midwestern domestic violence.
yeah, I was like, so, like, do you need us to go deal with this guy? She's like, I handled him. He's all fucked up. And I was like, oh.
Damn.
She's
You
like,
should
yeah,
see the other guy.
yeah, yeah. It's like, it's fine. I handle. You know what I mean? But like, think of the chain of misery there. That like, she was like, I got to ambush whack this guy. You know, because he's clearly in the wrong, right? It's not like she started it, but she definitely intended. Like she was like, it wasn't that she was in date. Like she did not give off. You know, most people in that kind of a scenario would give off that vibe of being traumatized. She gave off a smug sense of self-satisfaction that I got the SOB. But then she's like, well, the problem is, and I was like, oh boy, here it comes. So the neighbors called the cops because we were being too loud. They said we were having a party. So the
Cops
cops,
show up, see the fucking scene. Yeah.
yeah, the cops come over expecting to tell some kids to turn the music down, and what they find is a domestic violence situation. I was like, okay. So then she's like, well, then the cops tackled me. And then they, then like the problem she had in all of this, at least relaying the story, right, is that like, well, basically they made me wear prison underwear and it was really uncomfortable and gross and it was cold. It was the trappings of everyday life. And she's like, yeah, she's like, it's fine. I'm not doing any. She's like, I'm not going to do any real time. So it doesn't matter that I lost my job due to being incarcerated for 3 days because my boyfriend decided to attack me and I one-upped him. And then the cops said, well, you're
Oh
both
fuck.
involved. Yeah.
It's a very Midwest. I shit you not. This is
Yeah,
exactly
I
how the
think
story
I'm pretty sure that shit happens all the fucking time in Mexico too, in the
Yeah.
more rural parts. But like most people don't have like employment in the capitalist sense where they're going for wages.
Right.
They tend to have farms and whatnot,
Yeah.
crops.
This is like
So no.
this is like mortifying to other Americans, you know what I mean? Because it's like, how do you live like that? And I'm like, oh, like,
Well,
I
any
mean,
any any
it's
sensible human
normal.
being is mortified, man.
yeah. And we have our wits about us. It's just
How
like
are you
they're,
mortified when it's like normal to us?
yeah,
You
it's a
guys are
really,
desensitized.
yeah, it's a really good demonstration in ideology. That's the background ideology we operate on. Like this just happens in life.
People just fucking trip,
Yeah,
lose their shit, and end up in jail for a day. End up for jail for a weekend.
yeah. Lose a job over it, and you got to figure out how you're going to pay the bills, and the whole
Yeah, it's a
nine
whole
yards.
rinse, wash, repeat kind of thing
Yeah,
of bad
Mm,
decisions that you see.
from what I can glean off this, wasn't Appalachia like a big hub of coal mining back in the day?
yeah. Back in the day, we had wealth.
Yeah, so it was pretty well off back in the day, not anymore, right?
Not at
Yeah,
all.
well, everybody's always uh being transient, trying to like get their money. So you're presented with the option to either leave or stay, and if you stay, you know that there's no jobs.
Right.
So then it's kind of like, oh, well, that's your fault for staying. Have it attached to your parents living there? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Is this where your family has built up any capital? Sucks to be you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the curse of the small town, no?
Right.
But
yeah,
applied to a
like,
huge region.
Yeah. Like
Like it's like I've got the same thing. Like there's only like one actual good place to work, like good, in
yeah.
quotes, over
The
where I'm at.
yeah, and
And it's been that way for what, like 200 years. It's a textile plant.
something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know. You figure too, like there's
We
like
have a
a
little bit more options, but we have to deal with the market, which is a whole another beast.
well, another beast. And there's a bit of Appalachian schizophrenia because like where we live, right? Um around us, like right now, right now, Michael Jordan Peterson is in not a major city, but not a baby city that everybody pretends is a real city either. It's like somewhere in the middle, right? Um,
Yeah, so they're getting all kinds of contracts.
I,
They're getting like tech facilities and stuff like that. You know, they're always trying to leave like LA and New York, trying to court these smaller places,
yeah,
only to find out that like then they're isolated away from everybody else that they need to be next to. So then they essentially just abandon it and leave it to starve.
right. So
Damn.
yeah, he's in.
After everybody had the feeding frenzy, it's like a fish situation. Like all the koi will show up and eat all the stuff and then dip.
Yeah. Yeah.
So across the stretch from where he's at to I's at, there's like 3 or 4 major cities, and again, maybe not major, but not things you can write off like, you know, to be cruel to my own fellow Pennsylvanians, Erie, PA, or like Reading or Scranton. You know what I mean? Not like these little rinky-dink places. We're talking like substantive, multiple hundreds of thousands of people, right? In the straight line corridor from me to him. Now I live in the outskirts, more towards podunk bullshit, but I'm still tangibly connected to that corridor. Okay? It's always kind of funny because the corridor we're in is, relatively speaking, compared to the rest of like the real, I don't want to say real, but like that deeper rural Appalachia, like there's this kind of schizophrenia because like the people from those major cities hear those stories and they kind of panic. They're like, what in the fuck is going on out there? But then like right next door to them, there's something just as horrific and fucked up that we're running from, that we've looked at as like, oh my God. But you know, in both cases, yeah, and in both cases, what it ends up is they live next door to a meth lab, right?
Yeah, everybody lives next door to a meth lab.
Yeah. So
you'll have multi-million-dollar McMansions out in the hills, and then you'll immediately see a trailer park.
Well, you've seen my hometown. You've seen my hometown. Right up the hill, you've got 10 to 12 McMansions on one side of the road. On the other side of the road, you have 3 country bumpkins who are trying to keep together their family's once nice house that they acquired from the coal mining era.
It's the weirdest shit I ever seen. Like,
yeah, that dilapidated house is some bullshit. I'm going through that shit right now.
Yeah.
I've seen that shit in small town Oregon.
Yeah.
When I was there. Yeah. Like, real nice houses, then crossing the street like a fucking trailer park that's kind of dilapidated and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Not even the trailer park makes sense because ostensibly somebody in that McMansion owns that trailer park. They gotta watch that.
Yeah, property. They own the trailer park. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about like you're watching McMansions move in next door into dilapidated, dying mining.
That's what I mean. Like, or maybe I mean like they have like
a forest. It's like a forest clearing with a couple shady trailers looking like meth labs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can find that in rural Oregon. I'm not sure.
That isn't even real stone. It's just dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, walls winding out with your myth. God damn. I've heard some shit from everywhere. I guess that's like you always have the trailer park with the meth lab, right? That's like a staple of American culture.
Yeah, no, but I didn't live near a trailer park. That's what I'm trying to impress upon you. Like, okay, here's the
I get your point. It feels like that, right? Am I getting that? Like,
no, it does. That's what I'm trying to impress upon you. It doesn't. Like what you're describing is like is such a stereotype that of course that happens. But no, this is different. I mean, like, let me try to really make you like picture it, right? Like, picture 2 houses down from you, okay? Imagine, if you will, a row of businesses in place of those 3 houses. Okay. There's the volunteer fire hall. There's the bank that is, for practical purposes, buying up the town. Across the street from it is the only retail establishments we have, which is a strip mall with 3 businesses and a gas station. And nestled at the right angle between the bank and the strip mall, which is all essentially one block, not even a full city block, frankly, there's the meth lab. In a dilapidated, you know, from the years and due to the lack of capital, right, in the family, fucking just residential home, there's the meth lab right there. Everybody knows it. Nobody does anything about it. Everybody knows it. Nobody can do anything about it because, of course, there's like a large family there that desperately need housing, and there's no housing available. You're literally going to be resigning them to the woods that they live maybe 700 feet from if you confiscate that location. But you know what it is. You know what they're doing right next to the goddamn bank who owns the town. It's fucking trip. Like I can't. It's not like, oh look, there's the trailer park the rich guy owns. I mean, like,
I see what you're talking about. Yeah, you're losing me on this. I'm sorry, I can't relate right now.
He's basically just saying the meth lab is everywhere.
Yeah, Like,
Oh, like everything's.
You can't expect it to be next to the McMansion. That's just a very clear illustration when you see it. That's like,
and in every meth lab.
oh hey, that's an American picture. But normally it's like it could be right next to your dentist office.
yeah, but it literally in like where I'm from, it
There's
literally
just
is.
scores of abandoned houses and shit, and just blank nothing.
Damn.
It's not abandoned though. Again, it's not like they've taken over an abandoned house. It's a house that people live in that they have also converted
that they've been
into.
kicked out.
They haven't been kicked out. It's the person running the meth lab is a member of the family, because that's how the family acquires capital. So again, it's right next to the bank. It's right next to the strip mall. It's downtown. It is literally the core of the town. That's it. It's
a legitimate part of the local economy.
Yeah, but for real though, like it's fucking weird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's insane because if I were to name to you all the businesses on that strip, right? It starts with.
Yeah, don't do it for your safety. You don't know if there's like a couple of crackheads from your your neighborhood watching the stream.
They're not.
He got a couple exes that actually, he's been preparing for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been soft targeting them that way they can come here and hear me talk about them, right? And by the way, it's not like I'm all that much of a peach either. I grew up in this. I know what toxic shit I'm looking for, like in a relationship for the most part. So I know that nothing of good is done. I love you, honey.
Yeah, I was going to say they hire interns for those unpaid interns for those meth labs, right?
Yeah, but like, no, they're just family members. They're just the kid. Like, it's sad. It's sad that that's how that family has to acquire capital. And it's the resignation is so deep that it's just like, yeah, you just know that's where the meth is made in town. Everybody knows. Nobody does anything because you can't. Because again, what are you gonna do? You're gonna resign into living in the woods that are again.
You're gonna call the cops on them.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Seeing how that goes.
You're gonna render them hopeless? What are you gonna do? That's the level of misery that like typifies Apple.
Gonna offer them a job? You don't have any capital either.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You gonna get him a job? Where? Where are you gonna get him a job at? Their
skills is clicking meth at this point.
There's 500 people in 7 businesses. You work out where they're gonna get a job at. They're not getting a fucking job in town unless they do a little old-fashioned entrepreneurship, libertarian style.
That is libertarian.
Damn.
Just basically a bunch of, we want to make meth labs.
Yeah.
It should be legal to do meth labs.
They want to do it in a recreational fashion where it's some sort of like power statement of how good they are at the market and good at market disruption, just like any other goddamn Democrat or sick, twisted fucking Republican. But I mean, I'm talking real. And people will be like, "Oh, it's not that bad there." You're right. Compared to other parts of the world, sure, it's not that bad. But this misery is uniquely ours, and it is fucked up, and it is wrong.
A very serious misery, yeah.
Yeah, it's still real misery, right? Enough of the victimhood Olympics. Like, it's bad here, too.
It's just like background radiation.
Yeah.
Where everybody just feels kind of shitty every day waking up.
Yeah.
So a lot of people move away. They're like, I feel so free. I don't know why. What it is about it.
Hell, I did. I moved what is essentially 4 towns over, and I feel better. Like, it's just that depressing there. And look, what could I do? I could get work. I could get housing. I could acquire a minutia of capital so that I have something to live off of. Like that's
well, you don't see it, but I'm shaking my head in agreement. I'm listening really closely.
I appreciate it. But yeah, it's disgusting. And then you figure at the national, like let's tie it back in, right? So at the national level, Biden is telling those people in that hopeless situation, which, by the way, let's be cold, they vote Republican, right? So they're intentionally blinding themselves to the misery, to some degree. It's not all sanctified. I understand. They're voting for the misery. They're voting the misery in. Whatever small leverage they have in the political sphere, they're picking bullshit every time. And that's partially because, like, let's face it, what have they been told by the technocratic party? The technocrats want to eliminate them as human beings from the economy in order to better use assets of the economy. I don't care if they live or die. The Republicans at least make overtures to the fact that they should exist. Now, those overtures are sick and hideous, but when someone tells you it's your moral responsibility to die, or, nah, you're getting screwed, dude, just vote for us, it'll be fine, which one do you think they pick? You know, how do you think they're going to go? You don't offer them dignity, you offer them death, and you tell them it's dignified if they kill themselves for the glory of the system. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's a shitty pitch. When they can see with their own fucking eyes on the TVs that you've sold them to keep them placid, right? When they can see billionaires in these beautiful homes and places not that far from them doing well, and you tell them it's their responsibility to go off and die when wealth is literally broadcasted into their home and wealth is literally advertised to them. And you tell them it's your moral responsibility to go die, and then somebody else comes along and says, you're getting screwed.
Wealth porn, they call it.
What's that?
Wealth porn, they call it.
Yeah, it is. They are flaunting it.
You know, your lifestyles of the rich and famous type shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Broadcasted into their home.
Right. They can see it. They can see with their own eyes. The wealth is there. They can get a share of that. Wouldn't even affect those people that they see on TV, and they know it. They're not dumb. Right? They're just miserable. So then one party says, like, you got to die to feed the machine, and the other party says, like, yeah, you really should be getting your cut. If we just cancel abortion, you'll get your cut. Who's pitching an offer?
But they never get their cut.
Of course they never get their cut, but somebody pitched them, somebody made an overture and an offer. And you know what?
It's Eustace Bass from Curry.
This is the right-wing populism, right? Like,
that's the conception behind it. They're
There is
making an
no
overture.
such thing as. Okay, keep going.
yeah, so it hides behind the of a working class sentiment.
Oh, I'll get there.
Like, oh yeah, we're going.
I'll get there. Don't worry. All right? Now, again, I agree. The Republicans are lying to them. But what you're telling them is an option for their lives should not be an option for any human being's lives. Die to make sure that this tubby rich person has caviar to fill their seagull-sized gullet. Okay? Not good. Not going to work. Not good enough. It's not an acceptable answer when there is that much wealth. But that's what they do. And I'll point out further that
we made a ton of money this year. Record profits. None for you.
None for you.
Tons for us.
Tons for us. I have to fill my seagull-sized gullet. Can I buy your children from you? And it is for sex. That's the offer they get from these people. You should be a baby factory so I can fuck your kids. That's the offer they're getting, right? Ultimately. And I want to point this out. I want to point this out. For a group of people who push customer service culture, okay, your pleases and your thank yous and all this bullshit. If you can't understand appeasing the customers, i.e. the voters, by giving them some kind of an overture, making their lives better, that's kind of on you. You failed your customer service requirements, didn't you, asshole? You had one job that you got hired to do. You didn't do it. Now people are mad at you, and you're butthurt that they're mad at you for not doing your job. Which, if I'm going to tie it in even further, that's why you tend to think people are lazy. Because you're ungrateful about you not doing your job and not getting praise for not doing your job, and you feel that that's what they're doing too, when in reality, they're working 80 plus hours at gas stations, not making enough money to put a fucking roof over their heads.
Yeah, who's the lazy one?
Who's the lazy motherfucker here? So yeah, liberals get on our shit all the time here on Sons of Trier, and fuck them. You're lazy. The core of you, your ethics, your ethos, your behavior is lazy and awful and immoral. Now, I've already said the Republicans, when they die, the world is better, unequivocally. Because, and maybe this is biased because I came from you people, I feel like you can do better. You have it in you to not be a piece of shit, and you need to start doing that. That's you failing your customer service requirements to your fellow citizens. All right, your EPR, it's coming back unsatisfactory, motherfucker. You can change that, put a little work in, Stop being a piece of shit. That can go up. That's on you. You're the one who has to do better. You're the one who has to offer something to your fellow citizens. You're the one who has to do the follow through. I'm trying to speak in terms they might understand. You're going to have to shift the paradigm. You're going to have to dare to imagine the possibility of a new kind of dream. They don't want offered anything but something that will let them live. And I guarantee you, they will shut the hell up and get in line if they can get their hands on it.
Damn, Dan.
Yeah,
That's
that was tonight's show killer. I believe I've done.
Oh shit! It's over,
No,
right?
it's good. No,
It's over. Hold on. Did you see that fucking
It's almost
that
like
news?
Broadcast that.
You see that news clip about the no Jews allowed thing?
No.
You think if a government official listens to your rant, they're gonna put up the same thing?
Yeah.
At the city hall, they're like, no Jews allowed.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. It's the only thing keeping them safe. I'll make them feel bad. See, here's the thing. I know how to make them feel bad. They fail their customer service requirements. They're not going to do well in their EPR, and then they're going to wonder why they lost their job. Well, because you were lazy. It's that simple. Maybe if you want your job, maybe you're going to have to actually do it. How about that? How about that for a change? That's the change we need. That's the first change we need. You want your job? You're actually going to have to work in it. And I know it's hard. Well, you gotta get up and actually try to fight for something because that's what you were paid to do. If not, I have 5 friends. I have 5 friends. They can take your jobs. They can do it. They have no qualms. They'll fight anybody. Won't you, boys?
Yeah.
I can tell you this.
Hell yeah, I don't know where it is, but yeah.
Michael Jordan Peterson and I are in Congress right now. Okay, I'm putting this out here. Matt Gaetz stands up and starts talking about wanting to fuck little kids or whatever. We'll put his ass down. And we don't care if they censure us, because I'll tell you what, these hands, you can't censure them, baby.
Oh, Matt Gaetz looks so smug too. I would love to.
Right? On site.
I would. What is that? What is that phrase?
On site.
Oh man, I'm just looking for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
Looking for a fucking reason. Fuck him.
Put us in the game, coach. We'll fight.
Man, I don't even know how the fuck they last so long without being shinzoed.
Well, they always go out there and they're like, no violence. Without getting shinzoed.
Yeah, we'll show you.
I mean, arguably he only was able to get that close because he is right wing. That right wing,
Yeah.
Not everybody. Yeah. Very few people have access to Mr. Abe at all ever. For that exact reason.
Yeah, for that exact reason.
Well, not anymore.
But it's kind of an upset because he's not. He's just there. You know what I mean? The more they find out, the more they're finding out. Like, yeah, Japan murdered him. Like,
yeah. But no, that's all. That's all. To be fair, he was kind of. I think he was doing kind of a man on the street kind of thing for his rally for his party. So like, he was more exposed than he'd ever been.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll tell you what, boys.
My dude made a blunderbuss of a couple fucking pipes.
Yep.
Nah, that's fucking crazy, bro. Do you see that shit? Mm-hmm. He hooked up a fucking 12-volt to it. Well, not a 12-volt. What do you call those? The small ones, man. 12-volt, like if it was a fucking car battery. The other one.
Yeah. I forget the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like the one with the 2-pole. Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah. And you keep in mind, that's a random right-wing worker applying his labor. Biden applying his labor, we get a committee on the possibility of functionality or whatever the fuck he was babbling about. Yeah. Something to mull.
I'm speaking the woke-colored revolutions in America. Well, no, just marches, man. Has anything come up lately?
On the color revolution front?
Yeah.
At least in this neck of the woods, not since the Canadian truckers.
You still doing that shit? Come on, man.
Yeah, probably. All right.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Like the one guy one guy in the trucker, in the 14-wheeler,
Yeah,
still climbing on the Freedom Convoy.
that's
They're
right.
a little upset we called them petite bourgeoisie.
Well, they're mad because they can't spell.
They're a little miffed.
Yeah. They're mad
And
because they
just
can't
soaking their
spell.
tears in the PPP loans.
Yeah. Let's be real. They're mad because
I
they
can't
can't spell.
afford my payment on my second troke.
How am I going to put truck nuts on all my trucks now so people know I'm not gay? Huh?
I'm losing my Mountain Dew budget.
Yeah. Excuse me,
Oh
I
my
won't be
God.
able to buy tiny hats for squirrels now. How else am I
Yeah,
going to film
that's
my next
actually.
commercial?
That's my singing bass money.
You're cutting into my singing bass Billy budget now, motherfucker. This got real.
Oh my fucking God, they still sell those things, huh?
Yeah, they do. All right.
And they still love it.
All right,
So,
boys.
with that, picture the bass. Picture the bass telling you right now that this has been the Sons of Tree